Break. Here with my guy Tater,
Hey, what's up?
better known as Lance. I'm not even going to try to say it. Say it.
Chalnowski.
Chawanowski, my guy. Um, so first off, let's just start with you talking about yourself a little bit. Like, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? A little bit about you. No football, just you.
No football, just me. Okay, yeah. So, from California, born, raised a little bit out in San Diego. Moved to the Los Angeles area at an early age, from like 7 or 8 years old. And just yeah, I'm very a family oriented guy. Very strong in my faith, I think, as well. And just try and live life to the fullest.
I love it. I love it. Well, oh help. So this is I don't want to call it a weird one, but this is a different one. Obviously, as Triple F has continued to grow, um, when we opened the first year or even into the second year, as we were kind of getting our brand out there, this would have never happened, right? So talk to us a little bit about how in the world, by the way, Tater's in high school, even though he looks like a grown man. I feel like we did Brody's podcast, what was it, Timo, a couple weeks ago before he went to NC State. God, that was a month ago, wasn't it? Man, time flies. But all these folks sometimes see you guys, they probably think you're a combine athlete or a pro. You're actually 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
You're 16 or 17 right
16.
now? 16 years old.
Yeah.
So how in the world did you end up in Knoxville, Tennessee, sitting here talking to me? You can talk about football. You can talk about the injury if you're comfortable with it. Anything you're comfortable with. Obviously, this is not live to all our viewing members. We're going to be putting this in front of you and your mom and making sure you're comfortable with it and all that stuff before we post it for the world to see.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about football and how in the world did Miss Val Webb, your awesome mom, who has brought you here for a month, how did this all happen?
Yeah, so the beginning of last year, I started to experience knee problems as growing up in the football world, like playing varsity, coming up to play varsity, playing better guys and stuff. The strength gap wasn't there, I guess I would say. Growing up from a basketball background, football was kind of new to me. So knee problems, multiple kneecap dislocations, and it put me in a spot where I lost most of my sophomore season. So me and my mom sat down, had a conversation. It's like, how can I get that back and build the physical side and also the mental side? And, we started researching. We found facilities out in Florida, guys out in Florida, like, yeah, we'll train you and get you right in that mental space. And when we came across Triple F, it's like, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to make sure you're mentally right, but we're going to do it with, like, being based out of faith. And that's what turned my head a little bit. Like, she's reading off lists. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's faith-based, They're going through what the Lord has put a plan for me and stuff like that. And it just changed my whole, like, mindset about everything. Like, I've had trouble with my faith, like, throughout these injuries. I was in a big stage of blame God instead of he's doing this for a reason kind of thing. And just the idea of getting back into a faith-based background while working with elite guys and getting right mentally and physically back was just amazing for me. And it didn't matter how far it was or wherever it was. And getting on the phone with you and just seeing how amazing the staff was, it was a no-brainer for me.
My God, I love it. Well, that was a chill bump moment. And that's something that, we're in the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm up in, Manhattan.
Right.
Or not that people in Manhattan don't love Jesus. I don't need hate mail. If you send me hate mail, send it to timo@triplefsports.com. That's my personal email. But you know what I'm saying. We're in the South.
Yeah.
Southern Baptist. Obviously, things around here have shifted to the guy in skinny jeans and a flannel shirt playing the guitar for 30 minutes before church started. And then when I was growing up, it was the old white dude in a suit or the old black dude in a suit.
Right.
And it's obviously adjusted over the years down here in the South, but it's still the South. It's still the Bible Belt. So when people, man, it's so cool that you make everything about Jesus. And I'm like, listen, man, number one, I'm not a martyr. I'm not getting persecuted about in this neck of the woods for shouting Jesus, right?
Right.
There's a reason Chick-fil-A started where they started. All right, let's just call it what it is. So, and then I'm not saying Triple F did that for business purposes, but you get my point. Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. Their faith foundation, and their company is unbelievable. But there's certain parts of the world that you don't pay the price that you would pay. We're not even talking about America. We're talking about globally. I mean, you can't pray in some parts of the world to Jesus and get away with it. It's wild. Around here, it's encouraged. So number one, I'm not a martyr, and number two, I don't want to say selfishly, but I don't have any other option to thrive in my life. That's the only option I have with my own darkness and
Yeah.
my own fears of whether it's failure or not being the husband and father I need to be, or whatever. I'm not. I can walk in any gas station in town and there's no other humans that scare me. But there's a lot of things that scare me, and Jesus is my only option for those things, to not control my life and cause me to be off. So the fact that brought you here is, once again, all Jesus. So that's cool, man. And obviously talking to your mom, when she first called, obviously my wife Alicia is a couple years ahead of where your mom is with this. And I played in the NFL, so it was a little bit different situation, but her baby, getting all this love and recruitment and not quite knowing where to turn. So I love that you're here, buddy. It's been awesome. I love that you got to come during combine season. So talk about that a little bit. When you get to be, a 16-year-old kid, and your mom has the ability to because she has a 9 to 5 job where she has to go clock in every day. This isn't possible.
Yeah.
So based off of the fact that your mom was able to wiggle, and I know Ruben, we talked yesterday about how Ruben was making sure you knew how blessed you were, and all those things. So just talk a little bit about how cool it's been to be here during combine season with all these guys getting ready for pro football that are where you want to be one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like, just perspective wise, just hearing their stories and how they came up, and it's like a very different scale. Like, there's 4 year guys down there, there's 5 year guys, and there's like three and outs like Francis, and it's just a whole different perspective and many different stories, and there's so many ways you can go about it. And just being around them, man, it's like it's amazing, but it's tough for me. Like, I'm always a guy that strives to be like the best in the group. Like, back at my school, I'm like, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that, and I'm not gonna let nobody beat me out. And I came here, and it's like we get into footwork, and I'm like, well, obviously all these guys are better than me,
Right.
and it's like, wow, like, so it's just me striving to get better. It's like trying to chip away at what these guys do, and take mental notes and stuff, and just see how they move, how they interact with each other, what the standard is in the workout and stuff like that, and just taking all the notes and the little tips that they give me. And it's just been great. Like, I've had a conversation. We had a like when we had skill work last week. It was like me, Darrell, Ruben, and Francis, and we're just sitting there just talking, like how we block a 5, a 9. If he's lined up this way, the counter to a swim move or a bull rush, or just things that you can just mentally just take in and get better at. And just hearing it from guys that have done it way longer than me and have been down the road, it's just been a great experience. Like,
And that's the way it's supposed to be, man. Like, John Feliciano, which the only thing I worry about, I'll just be honest, when I bring in a high school kid to this environment is, dear God, I don't want these guys to tank the poor kid. They're animals, football players, which is why we do our Bible studies and why we try to stay spiritually locked in. But some of these guys are wild, right? It is what it is. And you're so mature and beyond your years that it's cool. And we got a good group of dudes this year. But that's what's cool is like John Feliciano, me, and Rodney are ahead of them.
yeah,
They're ahead of you, and to have everybody together to where it trickles all the way down to our Saturday O line sessions with 8th grade linemen, from Rodney Hudson, who was all pro, to Francis, who's a first round pick, to other guys here that are just scratching to get drafted or might just get a rookie minicamp opportunity. I mean, you see the difference. You see
Yeah.
the difference in when Francis works compared to somebody else, right?
Right.
Some guys are just really, really gifted by God. Francis is one of those. And then to you at 17 to kind of see, all right, I might be a little closer to that guy, but my dreams are that guy. And by the way, I was mad at God and frustrated, which, by the way, is very real. And that's why, since Adam bit the apple and since the Israelites turned their back and da-da-da-da-da-da, like that's the way we're wired,
Yeah.
unfortunately, is to not trust God all the time. And then the goal is always, well, that didn't work out very well.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm trusting God now, and it's like, well, this is really cool. So to see how, yeah, you went through your knee stuff, but to hear stories in the room from, man, this guy went through that and he still got here. And this guy has this crazy other story and got here. And it's cool that you get to have some of those intimate conversations too, whether you're eating lunch or whatever with the guys. So that's awesome, man. Good for you. All right. And then, so what are your dreams, goals, aspirations? Like, what do you want your life to look like in the next 2 years?
For sure, I want to be the top guy. Striving to be the top guy, especially at my position at O tackle. Um, so just get that up. But I want to be um, someone like to be looked upon, like just have like a legacy in somewhat in a span of 2 years, which is crazy to say, but like, man, he was at the deeps bottom of the hole, bottom of his life, and he just came back and did what
Mm,
he had to do to get where he's at. And I just think like I just want to be an inspiration to somewhat um, that the hole is never too deep.
mm,
It's never too deep. The hole is never too deep, and it's a journey to get out of a deep situation like that. But it's worth it at the end of the road. Like especially trusting in the Lord with that as well.
you're wise beyond your years, my friend. Most kids your age are only looking at the next 24 hours,
Yeah.
right? I know I was at your age, that's for sure. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they have daughters that are really talented kids and have a lot of opportunities, right? And they're going through some stuff. I'm obviously not going to say names, but I told them, and it's harder with your baby girl.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, it is. Sis, my little oldest daughter who is Lee Junior, wild, loud. She's my buddy, but it's hard. It's a lot harder to watch her suffer than watch my son suffer. So I get that from a dad standpoint. But we were talking, and I said, good. The only literal only way you truly get to feel God's presence is in suffering, because you're automatically, based off of our sinful flesh, going to try to do it your way, and that's going to tragically fail every time. And then you're going to finally say, oh my goodness, this is what the gospel is all about. You've seen the 2 feet in the sand. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I finally just let him carry me instead of trying to freaking walk through myself and barrel through. And I finally just said, God, carry me through this time, man. I don't know why this is happening, but I know it's a part of my journey and a part of me serving other people with my legacy. That's awesome that you're already thinking that way, instead of looking up at the end like, oh, thank God I get to be an inspiration. You're already thinking about it. You're already thinking about how to be that inspiration. And that's really cool, dude. That's really cool for a kid your age. So that's awesome. So what's been your favorite thing about Triple F?
My favorite thing is just like the environment, the people around me. Honestly, like it's hard to come into a situation and just be already comfortable with people, and this is like how I felt here. Like I came in the first day and I'm already talking to Ruben and Darrell and all the combine guys, and I'm like, man, like I've never been in a easygoing like situation like this. I'm like, it's just like, are these people like messing with me at this point? Like in California, maybe it's because we're down south, but it's like these guys are from all different places. In California, it's like everybody's going about their own thing and like leave me alone type of deal. And I come in and everybody's just accepting me with open arms, and I just have a bond with everybody in the building, and it's just amazing to know everybody through here. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, and not to be corny, but it's faith, family, fitness for a reason. It was football, but I had to change that for some future growth stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not all football players are going to own these puppies down the line, but faith, family, right? Like, it's about Jesus, period, conversation over, and all of us struggle and all of us run away from him when we need him the most. It just happens.
Yeah.
But family has to be non-negotiable around here, and that's the way that we try to operate, and everybody has to be rowing in the same direction, right? Like when people walk in this gym and any other Triple F that God blesses other people to have in the future, that's what I want them to hear is like, hey man, when you're coming into this family and you want to have a Triple F in LA one day, which I'm not sure that'd be the best location for a Triple F, but we can talk about it later after you go play in the NFL for a long time. But but yeah, it's that makes my heart happy when I hear people say that, because it's a very consistent theme. And you're right. I mean, Ruben, Darrell, all these guys downstairs are all from different backgrounds, and it's also, I talk about it all the time, dude. Like, football is the best thing in the world besides family and God. You get my point.
Hmm.
Like, especially the offensive line. You got white rednecks and black dudes from the hood that become brothers
Exactly.
all day, in every college and professional. Obviously, in like you go to most high schools, all the people are pretty much going up the same way because they're all playing. They're all from that town. So like the inner city school is a bunch of black kids that are raised in the inner city for the most part, maybe a couple white guys. The really rural outskirts are a bunch of white kids who mow their own grass and they're a bunch of country ass kids, and there might be one black kid on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you get to college football and especially pro football, like this environment downstairs, the offensive line in football is the greatest group of people in all of professional sports. It just is because it is so cool how guys that are from totally different parts of the country become brothers so fast. And you felt it when you walked in. They just embraced you, and you're like, "What's up, dog? Hey, I'm a little nervous. I'm a young kid. You guys are going to the NFL, and it's family. So that's awesome."
Right.
Well, this is the one thing I'll tell you. It's funny. I had this conversation with my son yesterday, Brody, who's now gone, and I told him, you should be proud of yourself, man. I'm getting some great feedback from the coaches. They tell me you're doing great, and he said, and I know he wouldn't care me sharing this. He said, "I'll be proud once I'm a starter." And I called him and I said, "Hey, you ready for your lesson of the day?" And of course he's like, "Yes, sir." He's thinking, "What's he gonna say? This asshole always just lecturing me all the time." I'm like, "You cannot attach the pride you have in yourself, and pride causes a fall. I'm not talking about that kind of pride. I'm talking about being proud of yourself as a man of God. You cannot attach the pride in yourself to outcomes." Does that make sense what I'm saying? You need to
Yeah.
hear that too.
Yeah.
Because you're big, you're pretty, everybody's loving on you, you got Texas offer, and you're supposed to be all this. That would be my challenge for you. And I feel like God had me have that conversation with Brody the other day, and then the podcast with you 2 days later, or it might have been yesterday. I talked to him. Yeah, it was yesterday. So within 24 hours, I'm sitting here with you. That's my challenge to you because when you look like you, move like you start getting offers. The noise starts in your head. So you start attaching, and that's why I'm glad you said your goal wasn't to be a Power Five player. It wasn't to get $1 million in NIL. It wasn't to da 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 da. Your goal was to just be an inspiration to people, which is why you're way ahead of most kids your age going through this process. And obviously, I'm here, dude. Me, John, all these NFL guys, that future NFL guys downstairs, like we're in your corner. So we're not going anywhere. You can always call us, but just really be careful when you start feeling like the belief and love you have for yourself is directly related to outcomes because that's a slippery slope that I lived for a long time. And of course, my goofy son just is doing the same thing now. So I'm having like, no, you starting for NC State has nothing to do with you being proud of yourself, you little turd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just be careful of that because it's natural for us football players because everything is production based. You just said you want to be the top tackle. Is that a bad thing?
No.
Nope, absolutely not. If you're rated the eighth tackle in the country coming out, now you don't feel good about it? No, you feel good about the fact that you did every single thing right to possibly become number one, and you landed at number 8 because that's what God wanted.
Yeah.
So you have pride in everything you did to become number one, but it's not attached to becoming number one. Does that make sense? Honestly,
Yeah.
I know it's deep, but does
Yeah.
that make sense?
That makes sense.
You have to be careful when you start getting frustrated about outcomes because really you don't feel fulfilled,
Mhm.
and that's something that we all struggle with as players. So there's a little tip for the day for a 16-year-old. Just think about that because you'll start to notice it now. Like, wait, I did everything right. I stayed in my Bible, but for some reason now I'm upset and I don't feel fulfilled because I didn't get this outcome I wanted. And that's just a slippery slope that will bite you. It'll bite you. And guess what? It's still gonna happen. Because when you're number 8, you're gonna wish you were number 6, and you're gonna be looking at number 7 and number 4, and you're like, dang it, I'm better than them, and da da. You go down this rabbit hole that never ends. But hey, go be number 1. We don't have to have this conversation. But sooner or later, we're going to have a conversation where you're going to realize the outcome didn't happen, and I did not feel good inside about it because your kind of belief system and pride is attached to an outcome of some sort because you wanted it and worked so hard for it,
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen. You didn't have knees that held up when you freaking gained 1,000 pounds and started playing varsity football, and that didn't happen. So now we got to fix it,
Yeah.
which is fine. Not we, you got to fix it. You just got to put the right team around you, and I think this one's here. So, anyways, sorry I went on a lecture rant, but that was a God thing because I just had it with my son who is very similar to you, right?
Yeah.
Big, pretty. Everybody in the world thinks he should be something, so he feels like he has to be sometimes what everybody else thinks he should have to be, and that's not it. You got to be a child of God, and you got to work your ass off and do everything right, and then the outcome will be the outcome. But all right. So we got boom, California found us. So shout out to Jesus Christ, based off of the fact that you knew that He was present here. That's why you came here.
Yeah.
So that's that. It's really cool how when you just trust in God and let Him lead the way, that the rest follow. So I'm pretty proud of that. Not only of myself, but of the whole ecosystem here. That everybody is fired up. That Jesus will be first always,
Yeah.
and then it continues to bring people into our lives that can impact the world. You can impact the world one day, dude, because of the way God blessed your mind. So that's cool. Got a bunch of combine stuff. We're gonna get some videos and stuff tomorrow because all these young cats want to be on social media and posting and all that stuff. So Timo, tomorrow, video, Timo Daily, America, palm trees in the back. Why's there not a camera on you, Timo? Give us the button. Give us the good button I like.
The air horn.
I don't know. Yeah, you like that? You like that, Tater?
It's a nice button.
Thank you. All right. So that's it, buddy. We'll get some football work in. You're going to come back after you go home this time at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for a few weeks before summer or whatever. So you'll be back around your family now. I love you.
Yeah,
Like a
love
son.
you too. Yeah.
You are welcome here anytime. Obviously, down the line, if you end up going through the combine training or once you're playing big time college football, off season, whatever, man, just stay around, come back, see the guys. Obviously, combine's a fun time, but sooner or later, you're not going to be out of school this time of year,
Yeah.
right? Especially once you get in college, you're going to be trapped in college football workouts and all that. And you might be able to come for a week here and there, like some of our other college guys do. But NFL off seasons are cool. You don't get those type of off seasons in college. So for the next little runway here of high school, when your mom has some freedom, come around as much as you want, dude. Come around as much as you want. We'll keep loving on you. And I'm glad you found us, man. I'm glad that God put you here. And it's been awesome having you around. And I am thrilled. Number one, I love you. And I'm proud of you already in this short time for how you've handled this situation, because it would have broke a lot of people. And maybe it did before you got here. And I got you once you were healed a little bit. I'm sure you went through the darkness a little bit. But I'm glad that your mind is where it's at and you're looking at this as a positive instead of it being a negative, to where you can impact people. And I just can't wait to watch your life and watch what God has planned for you, man. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love you, dog.
Love you
My
too.
man. Boom. We're out. Give me a hut.
Hut hut.
Hoop. I like it. Boom. Done. All right.